What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, Sunday, October 15th, 2017. This is, of course, the #1 professional wrestling podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script, and I have another loaded show for you guys today. I got news on the Cruiserweight Championship and the fallout from Raw, Kalisto, Enzo. What's going to happen with the Cruiserweight Championship? I got news on Sasha Banks' next big feud on Monday Night Raw. I have major news on fallout from the Shield reunion. What is this reunion being planned for after the fact? And it's something that I already discussed with you guys and something that I would do if I was booking the Shield reunion, man. Great minds think alike. That's why they watch Off the Script. Also, I have news on Jinder Mahal's possible next opponent after the Indian tour. And I also have news on Conor McGregor and a possible deal for him to appear at WrestleMania 34. Not just appear, but compete in the ring. All this plus so much more today on the podcast, man. Thank you guys for a great weekend. If you guys missed part 1 and part 2, it is live on the channel right now. In part 1, we go over the Jimmy Jacobs situation and why Vince McMahon fired him over him being in a photo with the Young Bucks and the rest of the Bullet Club. Also in part 2, we talk about in a scathing rant that needs to be heard. And if you guys missed it, it's live on part 2. As soon as you open the video, we get right into it, man. I waste no time. Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar being planned for the 2017 Survivor Series. I give you every possible reason why it is wrong and why nobody would be interested in such garbage. So that's on the podcast this weekend. Make sure you guys go and check it out. Links will be within this video in the top right corner in that annotation, man. So go and check that out if you have not done so already. Please follow me on Twitter. It's the best way to keep up to date on the channel and pretty much be informed about everything, because everything from YouTube, on a good day, most days, it gets sent right to Twitter, man. JD from NY 206 on Twitter. We are pretty much at 20,000 followers on Twitter, so thank you guys so very much for that. If you guys are not subscribed down below, you better be, because it's going to be a big week. I got plenty of WWE 2K18 coverage coming. My career, Road to Glory, Universe Mode, all of that shit coming this week. So make sure you guys are subscribed down below on top of the regular WWE coverage. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We got Off the Script next weekend, each and every single weekend. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell and make sure all notifications are turned on. I want to give special shout outs to everybody on my Patreon side, my Patreon family for this week. Thank you guys so much. You all make it so much easier to deal with YouTube's bullshit, man. I want to thank this week Isaac Baker. I want to thank Matt Batista. I want to thank Lewis for raising his pledge from $1 to $5. We got Mark Coyne pledging $5. Going back, Isaac pledged $5 himself. We got Matt Batista pledging $5. We got Brock Sways. He raised his pledge from $1 to $3. Michael Mazan pledged $5. We got Dennis Dockery pledging $3. We got Melissa. Thank you so much, Melissa. Melissa Klein raising her pledge from $5 to $10. Chris Cavell, he pledged $5. And we got Khalil Bama, 311, raising his pledge from $3 to $5. And finally, Just Lowry pledging $2, man. So thank you to all of you guys this week on my Patreon family. If you guys want to pledge, if you guys want to support, Patreon is the best way to show your appreciation for the hard work that goes into running this channel each and every single day, each and every single week. Patreon.com/JD206. Make sure you guys go over there and check out the perks. Off the Script early. We got Mario Kart gameplay. We got Off the Script retro. The next one coming up is the 1993 Royal Rumble. I just finished watching it, man. I can't wait to talk about it because there's a lot that I love about that Royal Rumble, man. The 1993 Royal Rumble, you know, it's not really one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time, but it's such a solid show, and I always enjoyed it. And Bobby the Brain Heenan made that entire show, man, with his interactions with Monsoon, to the unveiling of the narcissist Lex Luger, the Royal Rumble match itself with Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair and their ongoing storyline that year. It was just a great Royal Rumble match. Giant Gonzalez, even though he is just god-awful, that whole situation where he came in and eliminated The Undertaker in that Royal Rumble without even being a participant in that match. Some really, really fun stuff in that Rumble, man. I can't wait to talk about that. All exclusively on Patreon.com, man. So thank you guys so much. Patreon.com/JD206. Also, at the end of this video, I will be reading your sub-stories, man. Sub-stories is a staple each and every Sunday right here on Off the Script to close out the weekend. If you guys want to get your subscriber stories in, all you got to do is email me, man. JDFROMNY206@yahoo.com. Subscriber stories is a portion of the show where I read your personal stories on how the podcast has affected you, what you guys are going through in your life, how the podcast has helped you cope with things and that, and how important the show is to you, and how long you've been watching the show, and everything that you like and love about what this show does. So that is subscriber stories, man. So if you guys want to get in your subscriber stories, you can always email me anytime, any day. I read them all. JDFROMNY206@yahoo.com. Thank you guys so much for everything, man. Let's get into the news today. I got plenty to go over, and we're going to start with this one, man. The top story on Sunday's show, the Shield's reunion is leading to a massive heel turn for one of its members, and it's not Roman Reigns. Weeks ago, I discussed how this Shield reunion should be used to fuel Dean Ambrose and getting him into that heel role that we know is just waiting to come out. Roman Reigns is not turning heel, okay? I want you guys to give up on that fact. I want you guys to give up on that pipe dream. Roman Reigns is not turning heel anytime soon, okay? WWE has a set plan with Roman Reigns. He's going to WrestleMania. WWE pretty much put the Shield reunion together to put together a last-ditch effort in getting him over with the audience. This is why the Shield is together. Not only to sell pay-per-view tickets for TLC, because they had no other attraction on this show. Brock Lesnar wasn't on the show. He's not defending the Universal Championship. They don't trust Asuka to sell this pay-per-view by herself. So they had to get the Shield together and put them against the Miz Taraj, or a mixture of the Miz Taraj and Sheamus and Cesaro, and then they added Braun Strowman on top of that because they got no plans for Braun Strowman. So it's nothing but a clusterfuck of a bunch of randomness. And then you got Roman Reigns and friends. I wouldn't even call it a Shield reunion. This is tea and crumpets with Roman Reigns and friends, or tea time with Roman Reigns and friends, however you want to coin it. This is not a Shield reunion, okay? So, we all know, and I went over this in nauseam, you guys know why the Shield is together. You know why WWE is doing it. I don't want you guys to be blinded by the bullshit that you see on social media. I don't want you guys to be blinded by everybody's excitement over what really isn't there. You know why it's happening, and you know what WWE's agenda is, okay? It's all for Roman Reigns. But the one thing, if they want to turn this overly negative situation into a positive of sorts, you got to take Ambrose and you got to elevate him. Rollins is there. Rollins is there. Reigns, whether you like him or not, he's there. Okay, I just don't want him forced down our throats. Enough is enough. But Ambrose is the most important piece to this entire reunion. Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns have officially reunited. Okay, they're together. I would not call it a reunion, but they are working together again on Raw. The WWE fans are excited to see the Hounds of Justice demolish Cesaro, Sheamus, and The Miz. Later on, the trio also laid out Braun Strowman on Raw. This all happened on Raw. It was then announced that the Shield will face Cesaro, Sheamus, The Miz, and Braun Strowman at TLC in a highly anticipated 4-on-3 handicap match, which will be contested under TLC rules. It's been reported that WWE officials made the decision to reunite the Shield for TLC because both John Cena and Brock Lesnar will be absent from the show. Aw, whose fault is that, WWE? Whose fault is that? You know, if you gave the title to Braun Strowman or Samoa Joe, you know, depending, I don't know if Joe would have been injured or not. Joe was working through nagging injuries, I guess, before the Brock Lesnar match. But if you gave the title to Strowman, which everybody wanted to have happen, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation and we can get a Universal Championship title match on the show. So that's what I would have done. But Brock Lesnar and John Cena are not on the show. Cena's off in Hollywood. Brock Lesnar is vacationing in Saskatoon somewhere, shooting deer. So he's not going to be around. The powers that be wanted a huge draw to sell the event, a.k.a. Tea Time with Roman Reigns and Friends. Along with the main roster debut of Asuka, the Shield has made the upcoming pay-per-view a must-see for several of its fans. A lot of rumors are circulating about the Shield and their current run and how long that WWE wants it to last. Now, the expectation is Ambrose, Reigns, and Rollins will be going their separate ways by the end of the year. As of this writing, the WWE Universe is assuming that the Shield's reunion is a way for Roman to earn favor as a babyface with the fans. There is no assuming here. This is WWE's clear-cut agenda. This is their direction. This is their hope. Okay? Of course Reigns is going to be cheered next to Rollins and Ambrose. Everybody loves Rollins and Ambrose. The majority of us do anyway. You know? But of course he's going to get cheered standing next to Rollins and Ambrose. What's going to happen when Reigns is not standing next to those guys? What's going to happen when Reigns is going to be in the Royal Rumble? You know, fans are going to turn on him immediately when this entire tea time is over. You know, it's going to go back to what we've been seeing. Roman Reigns getting verbally assaulted and booed out of every building he walks into. This is just a Band-Aid that's going to come off very easily. But you guys don't understand that. I do. Our smart people do. It's going to happen, believe me. Now, at the end of the year, what does that mean? Are they going to go through Survivor Series? Are they going to go through whatever the December pay-per-view is? I don't even know what the Raw December pay-per-view is. I know SmackDown has Clash of the Champions. Monday Night Raw might have Roadblock. I have no idea. I really do not know. In fact, I would actually have this go all the way through the Royal Rumble. I'd have this go all the way through the Royal Rumble. And I would start to build Ambrose jealousy of everything. I would start to build Ambrose jealousy of Reigns and Rollins through Survivor Series, through the Raw pay-per-view in December, and then all the way through the Royal Rumble, if WWE can handle that. If WWE can handle that. Or if WWE just wants to end it at Survivor Series, I'd be happy too. Maybe Survivor Series is probably a better bet for everything to just start breaking down. I don't want to see this thing last too long. I'm tired of it already. It's not genuine. It doesn't feel real. It just feels forced. It's not really a reunion. You know, I went over this time and time again, and in the best way that I possibly can. I honestly think I described everything beautifully for you, perfectly for you guys, in several videos spanning this podcast, Off the Script Extra. There's nothing more I can say about why this is just not what it really seems to be. You know, this is all done to get Roman Reigns over. This is a catalyst to get Roman in the eyes of the fans as a liked personality. And you're not going to fool me with that. You're just not. So, in fact, Survivor Series is probably better off for people like me. I just want to see it end because it's not doing anything for me. This match is not going to do anything for me. I'm not excited about this TLC match at all. At all. The one thing that would bring a smile to my face is Ambrose doing exactly what I had planned. Ambrose doing exactly what I had scripted for you guys. I had perfectly booked weeks ago. Ambrose heel turn for this entire reunion. That's the one thing that would save this reunion, is building up Ambrose. Rollins is there, Reigns is there, now let's get Ambrose there. Ambrose as a babyface has just been stuck. Ambrose as a babyface has just been boring, and we all know this. It spanned all of the year. It spanned last year when he was feuding with AJ Styles, and he was the WWE champion. But Ambrose is a better heel than he is a babyface. So, although this one motive here for WWE, with Reigns getting him in favor with the audience, although that is the one biggest motive here for the Shield coming back together, there are some creative plans in the works for Dean Ambrose that could last all the way to WrestleMania 34 next year. Now, if that's the plan, maybe it is best to go through Survivor Series, the December pay-per-view, and then on into the Royal Rumble. Because my perfect match right here for Ambrose and Rollins is honestly against each other. That's what you do. It's being reported that WWE officials are discussing the idea of Dean Ambrose turning against the Shield in a similar way that Rollins disbanded the trio back in 2014. I booked the same exact scenario. But in this case, Ambrose would cost his team the tag team championships against whomever WWE sees fit to carry the titles after Rollins and Ambrose. And then this would lead to a match with Ambrose and Rollins at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. Ambrose would have a major heel turn before the end of the year and would rekindle his rivalry with Rollins. Their rivalry would be a fresh dynamic, and WWE officials are thinking about building them to a huge match at WrestleMania 34. Someone in WWE is clearly listening to this podcast. Now, maybe not. I would love to think so, because I booked that the same exact way weeks ago. And the people that the people that listen to this show know that I mentioned that on this podcast. Since the Shield just reunited, I even said it on Twitter weeks ago. Since the Shield just reunited earlier this week, it seems too early to speculate about how long their run is going to be. However, it's clear that WWE officials aren't planning on keeping the Hounds of Justice together for long. It might be a good thing that the powers that be have an end game in mind. There needs to be an end game in mind. There should be an end game in mind. You're not just going to put these guys together and then just disband them with nothing happening. This is a perfect situation to get Ambrose to that next level. Reigns is there. Rollins is there. Ambrose has kind of floundered as a babyface. He needs a new dynamic. And I think a heel dynamic against Rollins at WrestleMania would be fantastic. So, whatever the huge angles that are being planned are, the Shield is expected to be booked strongly through at least the Survivor Series. So, that is what the news is right now of the Shield reunion. I don't know how you would book this, man. You could have fun with this if you want. You really could. I'd love to see a heel turn at the Survivor Series, to be honest with you. I just don't trust WWE's creative writing to get us from Survivor Series all the way to WrestleMania with Rollins and Ambrose. There'll be a little lull in between there. You know, I need it to happen and then not have that much time in between, you know, when it happens and WrestleMania. Survivor Series would seem like the perfect thing. The perfect event for it to happen. But you can book the Shield in a Survivor Series match. You can go on through December. You could go on through the Royal Rumble. You know? Maybe you could book the Shield in a triple threat match together. Reigns versus Rollins versus Ambrose. You know? Start building friction between all three guys again. And have them just settle their differences in a brotherly-like way. Maybe at the Royal Rumble, we see a big Shield triple threat match. We see Reigns versus Rollins versus Ambrose in a big triple threat match. Or you can have a spot with them in the Royal Rumble. You know? You can have a spot with them in the Royal Rumble. You don't even need a triple threat match. What if the Shield is in the Royal Rumble and you book a sequence in the Royal Rumble where all three of them are in the ring at the same time? You know? And have them own the match for about 10 minutes. You know, have them start working together. Start eliminating guys that come on in one after another. And then after they realize that they're owning the match, that it's leading towards them, you know, just being together and owning this match, that the best idea for all three of them, the same idea that all three of them have is, maybe I should take out these guys, because it is every man for himself. I love these guys, they're my brothers, but maybe we should start going at each other now. So I would have, in a situation, I would have Rollins dump Ambrose out over the top. And you can book it in a situation where, I don't know, someone comes in. It could be anybody, man. I'm going to use him for example. I could use Kevin Owens as an example, right? Kevin Owens can be on the verge of eliminating Ambrose, right? And then be announced to Ambrose, who's just trying to hold on for dear life and stay in the match, and he's trying to not get eliminated. You know, Rollins, you'd think Rollins would come over and help his tag team partner. They're still tag team champions. Rollins can come over and, you know, instead of helping Ambrose, assist Owens in dumping Ambrose over the top. And, you know, that would be kind of shady. Fans might turn against Ambrose a little, or fans might turn against Rollins a little bit for dumping Ambrose or assisting in Ambrose's elimination. Ambrose then could watch the tape back. He won't know what happened. He's hanging on. He doesn't know Rollins assisted Owens. He can go back and watch the tape and see that Rollins actually dumped out Ambrose instead of Owens. That Rollins helped Owens eliminate Dean Ambrose. So that's what I would start with and build the friction between Rollins and Ambrose. Reigns really has nothing to do with the other guys. Reigns is going to go on his own regardless. But Reigns could play a role in this, in trying to calm everybody down, because they've just been through, the TLC match. They've been through a war with these four guys, Cesaro, Sheamus, Miz, and Braun Strowman. They lasted through the Survivor Series. They won Survivor Series in whatever match WWE booked them in. Roman Reigns can be there as a mediator, right? And in the end of all this, Ambrose would turn on Rollins in the same way that Rollins did Ambrose and Reigns dirty, with the steel chair behind the back, and that would just pretty much end that tag team. But WWE, the most important thing here, WWE has to have another team set up to eventually take the tag team championships. Maybe Rollins and Ambrose lose the tag team championships earlier in the night at the Royal Rumble, So, whatever the case may be, those are just ideas. But the friction has to be between Rollins and Ambrose. And this all has to eventually lead to Ambrose turning on Rollins, and that lead to a match with both of those guys at WrestleMania. In a grudge match. There doesn't need to be a title on the line. There doesn't need to be a mid-card title or anything. It could be a grudge match. One-on-one. I like it. I think the best role for both of those guys at WrestleMania is with one another. One-on-one. And then Reigns, clearly, I don't want to get myself nauseated on this Saturday afternoon as I'm recording this. I don't even want to think about the main event for WrestleMania yet, because it's just going to upset me and agitate me and anger me. So that is the big story here, man. Ambrose. There are plans for Ambrose to turn on the Shield in the same way that Rollins did it 4 years ago. So there you go, man. I'm hoping it happens. I think Ambrose deserves to be catapulted. I think a fresh start for Ambrose as a heel would benefit him, and it would benefit the product, because Ambrose has been just stuck in mid-card purgatory. He's had great matches, don't get me wrong, but we all, I think, want to care about Ambrose more than we do now. And I think a heel turn would definitely make us care more about Ambrose compared to now, as he is a babyface. Next major feud for Sasha Banks has been revealed. At WWE TLC, Asuka will make her debut for the Raw brand against Emma. Emma won a fatal 5-way match on Raw this week to become Asuka's opponent for her debut bout. There have been more opportunities for Emma to have a prominent role in WWE programming recently, but her upcoming match with Asuka is about introducing Raw and its fans to Asuka. Creative plans can always change, but the expectation is Asuka and Emma's rivalry will not last beyond TLC on Sunday. Their match will most likely be a squash match, with Asuka showing supreme dominance to generate big buzz coming out of the event. That's sad for Emma, because they did have a great match at TakeOver London back a couple of years ago. I know what Emma is capable of. I know what Emma and Asuka are both capable of together in that ring. I don't want to see it be a squash match. I at least want to see Emma make it a little bit competitive. Don't completely bury Emma. We know Asuka's going to win, but you got to do it right. However, WWE officials are already planning big for Asuka on Raw afterward, and our first major feud will be against Sasha Banks. There was some speculation that Sasha Banks would be the one to face Asuka at TLC. I really don't want to get that match right away. I think that's a big money match for the Raw Women's Division, and I think that match should be saved for when Asuka is the Women's Champion. That's a big match. You don't want to give that away too soon. But the powers that be in WWE decided that their dynamic was a better idea for a full rivalry instead of a one-off match in Asuka's debut. Emma also has experience with Asuka. As I said, they both worked together at NXT TakeOver in London. After ending her historic NXT Women's title reign at 523 days, undefeated, mind you, Asuka is expected to continue her dominance on Raw for the foreseeable future. That is the only thing that should be on the creative list for Asuka. I don't care what else you do with her. She does not lose a match for this year and the entire year of 2018. I don't care what you do. And if I see an L on her record, I am going off. She does not lose a match. Why? I'll tell you why in a second. It's highly unlikely that Sasha Banks will get a win over Asuka, but their feud could definitely help establish Asuka as the next big thing in the women's division. Afterward, the expectation is that she would be ready to challenge for the Raw Women's Championship. The rivalry is also a big opportunity for WWE officials to pull the trigger on Sasha's long-awaited heel turn before WrestleMania. Fans were under the impression that she would make the turn to start a new rivalry with Bayley. But Sasha Banks standing toe-to-toe with Asuka for the rest of the year and a heel turn will give Sasha Banks a ton of momentum heading into the first Women's Royal Rumble match that is speculated to happen in January. After WWE TLC, Asuka will begin feuding with the Boss, and it should be a feud that benefits both women in a big way. I made my creative thoughts known about Sasha Banks. Yeah, do the Sasha and Asuka feud. Get it out of the way. But I would also have a shakeup happen, as well this year. I think Sasha would actually forget Bayley, forget Asuka, forget having Sasha Banks the Raw Women's Champion again. I would actually move Sasha Banks over to SmackDown Live. I think that one move would benefit her greatly, more so than anything else. I think Sasha needs to move over to SmackDown Live. That's what I would do. In fact, I would move Sasha and Bayley over to SmackDown Live. And I would move Charlotte and Becky over to Monday Night Raw. That's what I would do. You want to move Nia Jax over on SmackDown Live too? Fine. But maybe the two is good enough. Nia, I don't know, man. Nia just seems to be out of place. It's like she's in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of people want to see her come up as a dominant force in the women's division, but with Asuka on Monday Night Raw, that is not going to happen. So it might be beneficial for Nia Jax to move over to SmackDown Live as well. That's what I would do. I think a move for all three would benefit all three. And then you can have the Women's Championship on SmackDown Live revolve with Bayley and Sasha Banks over there. And you lead to a match with those two on SmackDown Live. Meanwhile, on Raw, going into WrestleMania, you would have Asuka and Charlotte. There's no more dominating way for Asuka to just be dominating in the eyes of the fans than beating Charlotte at WrestleMania. That's my dream match for WrestleMania. In fact, that's one of the matches that I had fantasy booked for my WrestleMania 34 with the current roster. Bayley and Sasha would be a perfect women's feud on SmackDown Live. It would bring freshness to the brand, and it would finally happen. We'd finally get Sasha Banks as a heel. Because I don't see it happening on Raw. I don't see it happening on Raw at all. Meanwhile, WWE has more than enough women talent down in the Performance Center where you can promote a Peyton Royce and a Billie Kay to one of the main brands. So, I don't understand why that hasn't happened yet. But something needs to refresh. Something needs to be fresh with the women. And I think a shakeup is more beneficial to everybody instead of just giving us an Asuka versus Sasha here and then giving the title to Asuka. Yeah, we're going to get that regardless, but there needs to be new faces on these shows. It's getting a little repetitive, I think. But as far as Asuka being undefeated, in this year alone, so many women have come forth and requested or were asked, what is your one crowning moment? What do you want out of your WWE run? What do you want to have happen with the women's revolution? We're getting Hell in a Cell matches. We're getting tables matches. We're getting Money in the Bank ladder matches. Speculation going on that the Royal Rumble is going to have a women's Royal Rumble match, which I honestly am 100% against. I don't want a women's Royal Rumble because I think adding another Royal Rumble is going to devalue the main attraction for the Royal Rumble, which is the men's Royal Rumble. I don't think a women's Royal Rumble is really beneficial. Now I'm hearing I reported on the podcast yesterday on Saturday that Kurt Angle is already teasing a women's Elimination Chamber match for February. But if you have a Royal Rumble, if you have a women's Royal Rumble, which ultimately will crown a number one contender for the women's championship, what is the Elimination Chamber going to be used for? It's pretty much going to be like, and this is exactly what I stated yesterday, it's going to be one of those, hi, look at me moments, and that's all it is. Look at what we're doing, and look at what the other promotions aren't doing. Look at our women's divisions compared to everybody else. We're making strides. We're doing firsts. You know, that's all it is. It's more of that agenda to just shove down your throat. I don't like that at all. There's just some things that the women should not do. I'm not saying that the women can't have equal opportunity. I'm saying that there are certain things in this business, certain things that are on WWE television that the women should not do. They should have never been in Hell in a Cell. And I stand by that 100%. There should never be a women's Royal Rumble. There should never be a women's Elimination Chamber. Those things are reserved. Those things are special. Okay? I don't want to see that shit. I don't care who gets salty or what. Women's Royal Rumble doesn't sound attractive whatsoever. I watch the Royal Rumble for one Rumble match. If I start to see every year 2 Rumble matches, how fast do you think that's going to get old? Pretty fast. I don't want my love for the Royal Rumble to diminish because I'm seeing a women's Royal Rumble. Do you even have 30 women in the Royal Rumble? Do these women even know how to go over the top rope completely? You know? I don't understand WWE's logic here. You know, you're most definitely going to have to include all of NXT's women's division. You're going to have to include some legends here and there. How often do you think that's going to be? How often do you think you're going to be able to keep that up? No. But the one thing that these women in these interviews say, I want a main event WrestleMania. I want a female's main event for WrestleMania. The only one that attraction will happen with is Asuka. That is the only woman that a WrestleMania main event should include. That's my God-honest opinion. WWE has an opportunity here to build Asuka as the most dominating female that this company has ever seen. If she continues to slay women left and right through all of this year, when she debuts at TLC, all of 2018, running through Charlotte, running through everybody. Now, WWE, to keep that fresh and to continue to come up with new ways to keep Asuka undefeated, that's another story. I mean, NXT did it with barely any women's division. Monday Night Raw could do that too. I just hope that she doesn't go the way of Shinsuke Nakamura, where her luster and appeal is worn off after 4 months. I don't want to see that at all. But Asuka is the only one that we should be talking about when it comes to women main eventing WrestleMania. And by main event, I mean last match. Asuka's undefeated streak built up from the time that she had in NXT when she relinquished that title. And it restarted on the main roster with Raw by beating Emma and then beating Sasha. Emma and Sasha falling this year to Asuka is only going to propel Asuka into that Raw Women's Championship. I would have her win the title almost immediately in her first try. I would have her squash. Not really squash, but, you know, I would have it be a fairly one-sided affair. I would have Asuka win the Raw Women's Championship. I would have her hold that title all through 2018 into WrestleMania in 2019. And that's when you bring up Kairi Sane. That's when Kairi Sane would be promoted to the main roster, and we would see a main event of WrestleMania with Kairi Sane versus Asuka for the Women's Championship with Asuka's undefeated streak on the line. I would have Kairi Sane undefeated through her entire NXT run. I would have Kairi Sane be promoted to the main roster and remain undefeated just like Asuka. I would have Kairi Sane pretty much the same exact blueprint that is Asuka be promoted to the main roster. And I would main event, if you want to talk about a main event, if you are even contemplating a women's main event for WrestleMania, Asuka versus Kairi Sane at WrestleMania 35 for whatever women's championship. In the main event, undefeated Asuka versus undefeated Kairi Sane. Can Kairi Sane end the Empress of Tomorrow and claim the Raw Women's Championship? Do you know what buzz would be around the women's division after that? Tell me you do not like that idea. If there's one woman you're going to be talking about as far as a women's match, main eventing WrestleMania, and I mean going on last, Asuka's got to be in it. Asuka needs to be undefeated. Simple as that. There's no other woman that I want to see right now in a main event for WrestleMania than Asuka. The only other one that I would want to see is Kairi Sane. Simple as that. That's how I would book Asuka. That's what WWE's priority should be. Maintaining Asuka's undefeated streak. And if you are even contemplating a women's main event for WrestleMania, Asuka 1000% needs to be a part of that. Future plans for the Cruiserweight Championship. Enzo Amore just recently lost the Cruiserweight Championship to Kalisto in a match that Kurt Angle booked on the spur of the moment to main event Monday Night Raw in a lumberjack match. Enzo was very proud of the Cruiserweight Championship. He often wore it in public to show off his prized possession. He was happy to be the Cruiserweight Champion, while the rest of the 205 Live roster did not care for Enzo whatsoever. But the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports the plan is still to go all in with Enzo and wrap the Cruiserweight division around Enzo Amore. Now it seems like just a matter of time before he gets his title back at this point. Enzo's popularity should never be overlooked, and his ability on the microphone will keep him relevant in WWE because he's able to morph into any situation pretty well at this point. Therefore, as much as other cruiserweights might try to produce better matches in the ring, it looks like Enzo's popularity is going to see him have another run with the Cruiserweight Championship soon enough. So, there was no reason to give Kalisto the championship in the first place. I don't know why you took it off Enzo Amore. I don't understand it. And the funny thing is, you know, Neville walking out of WWE with the plan of him losing to Enzo was just the cherry on top of the cake. It was just the cherry on top of the cake. WWE, you know, they had Neville plan to lose to Enzo. Then Neville walks out of Raw. They got to find a replacement for Neville, who was supposed to be in the main event against Enzo Amore. They put Kalisto in the main event, and then they just end up giving the title to Kalisto. So if Neville wasn't supposed to beat Enzo, why did you book Kalisto to beat Enzo? That's the one thing I can't figure out. Like, why did you just upset Neville to the point where he just walked out and he was going to lose to Enzo? But then you change plans and give Kalisto the title when it should have been Neville. I don't understand that. That's one of the few things about this thing that I don't understand. Everything else around this Neville situation is easy to follow and easy to understand. We know why he's upset. We know why he's pissed. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. It doesn't. But, you know, as a fan, I can honestly tell you that I'm disappointed in the Cruiserweight division. I really am. If you would have told me coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic that this entire division was going to be built around Enzo Amore and the lack of wrestling that Enzo brings to the table, if you told me that the Cruiserweight division was going to be around or built around Enzo and his charisma and his microphone skill, I would have told you that you're a flat out liar. I would have laughed in your face. You know, I say it time and time again. And I always mention this match because it was the best match of the entire tournament. Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander. There's no way anyone can convince me that if you put that match on Raw in the main event and you let those guys go 20 minutes, move for move, sequence for sequence, that match was. There's no way you're going to tell me that the Cruiserweight division is not going to get over with weekly action like that. That's what those guys want to do. On top of that, I reported yesterday they're not even making money. They're not even making royalties from the video game. And all the Cruiserweights are pretty much in the video game, so they're not making any royalties off that. So why do you think Neville walked away? He's part of the Cruiserweight division, and he's not making any royalties from 205 Live's roster being in the video game. On top of that, you want to have him lose to Enzo. He got embarrassed at No Mercy. He lost his title to Enzo. You're going to have him lose again in a lumberjack match in front of all his peers. On top of that, he was angry already because his match with Austin Aries wasn't on the WrestleMania 33 DVD. You know, that was left off because it was on the pre-show. So he didn't get any royalties from WrestleMania and WrestleMania 33 DVD sales. And that was the biggest selling DVD of the year for WWE. So all of this just mounting and mounting and mounting caused Neville to leave. You know? But there's no way you can tell me that, you know, the action that we see in the Cruiserweight Classic, if you took that and placed it on Raw, the division would not get over. They handle this all wrong. WWE is treating this like a joke. It really is. Enzo might have charisma. Enzo might have great mic skill. Enzo might be bringing more eyes to 205 Live, but is it the best thing for it? WWE didn't know how to book the Cruiserweight division until they decided to put Enzo on 205 Live. Now it seems like they're just running on last-ditch efforts here to try and keep the brand afloat. And the only way that they can do that is with Enzo. Enzo didn't factor into their plans. This is a last-ditch effort. You think this was planned all along? This is a joke. This is a joke. This is not where WWE, this is not where Triple H wanted the Cruiserweight division to go. It's a fucking joke. At this rate, nobody is going to want to be with the WWE. What's going to happen with all these guys? What's going to happen with all these guys when their time runs out and their contracts come to an end? You think half of these guys are going to want to stay in the WWE and be a part of 205 Live's roster? I don't think so. There's not going to be a 205 Live. There's not going to be a roster for 205 Live if things keep up like this. Nobody wants to be there. Neville also was promised a spot on Raw. He was promised a spot away from the Cruiserweights because he feels he's more valuable than just keeping him tied down to 205 Live. And this is said by everybody, every podcast you listen to. Neville wants to be with the Rollinses and the Joes, and he wants to be with the Ballers. Neville is great. Imagine what Neville can do with an IC title. Imagine what Neville could do with a United States Championship. You mean to tell me you don't want to see Neville versus AJ Styles in a match for the United States Championship? Or Neville versus Sami Zayn? Or a Neville versus Ty Dillinger? Or a Neville versus a Balor? Right? Like, I don't get why you would tie a guy down who to everybody is one of the best talents in this industry. I don't get it. I really don't. And then you got guys like Austin Aries who walked out and he pretty much took to Twitter on Saturday afternoon and he actually bragged about the money he's making in the bingo halls is better than the money he made in WWE in the big leagues. We all know Austin Aries left in July of 2017. Now it's October and Aries can do whatever he wants because the 90-day no-compete clause is over. House of Glory. I think you got a winner there on Austin Aries if you want to bring him on board. Aries took to Twitter on Saturday to compare the money he's making now to what he was making in WWE as a member of the Cruiserweight division. Aries says that he would be making, or that he will be making more money in the next 6 weeks than he did in his last 4 months with WWE. His exact tweet was, and I quote, "Upcoming 6 weeks of bingo hall money is greater than the last 4 months of big league money. Awesome to see pro wrestling scene thriving around the globe." There's a reason why reports are going around that people in the WWE who are under contract now are reaching out to guys in the Bullet Club and guys like Cody Rhodes for ideas to plan their escape from WWE. This is not going to end pretty, man. This is not going to end pretty. WWE has just miscast 205 Live. WWE has miscast everybody on that show. By the end of 2018, I am making a bold prediction. I don't think there'll be a 205 Live by the end of 2018. That's my bold prediction there. I don't watch it. I don't really care for it. I want to see guys like Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander and Neville and guys like that on the main roster. Jack Gallagher would be perfect in the UK division. You know? I don't really care for anybody outside that. Tony Nese has got a great look, but they haven't done anything with Tony Nese. Tony Nese is a great wrestler. They haven't done anything with him. Brian Kendrick, a great wrestler. They haven't done anything with him. You know? The Cruiserweights should have been, and I say this time and time again every time I talk about the Cruiserweights. The Cruiserweights should have been, you know, exactly like what they were with the WCW brand when Nitro was in its prime. You know? That's what the Cruiserweight division should have been. It should have been a part of the Raw roster. All of those guys should have been a part of the Raw roster. All of those guys should have been free to do whatever they want. Yeah, you got your Cruiserweight matches, but you also could have had a Cedric Alexander go one-on-one with a Finn Balor, or a Neville go one-on-one with a Finn Balor. They're free to do whatever they want, you know? Cedric Alexander challenged The Miz for the IC title. There should be no weight limit for a Cruiserweight division. Not when you got guys like Finn Balor who are 185 pounds competing against guys like Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. That's not fair. That's not fair. Why are you guys getting preferential treatment when other guys who should be aren't? You know? What are you going to do when Almas is ready to be called up to the main roster? He's a Cruiserweight. He's within the Cruiserweight boundaries. What are you going to do when Leo Rush gets called up? What are you going to do when Aleister Black gets called up? You're going to put them in the Cruiserweight division? What are you going to do with the 195-pound Hideo Itami? You're going to put him in the Cruiserweight division? No! They're not Cruiserweights. They don't want to be tied down to that. They don't work their ass off in NXT to be placed on 205 Live and not be on Monday Night Raw. Come on, man. You gotta think about it. The Cruiserweight division has been ruined since day one. And it hasn't gotten any better. There will not be a 205 Live at the end of 2018. That is my prediction. And it's sad that I hate the Cruiserweight division. Because I wanted to love it. I wanted to fucking have Monday Night Raw flourish with the Cruiserweights there. They could have. They could have. You gave me matches like Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander and Ciampa versus Gargano. Another one. What are you going to do with Gargano when he gets called? Are you going to put him on 205 Live? Fuck no. Gargano was worth so much more than that. The Ciampas versus the Garganos from the Cruiserweight Classic. You mean to tell me you're going to put that match on the main event and that's not going to get the Cruiserweight division over? Come on, man. WWE dropped the ball big time. There's one thing you're going to look back on when you talk about WWE and dropping the ball on something, the Cruiserweight division will be easily in the top 3. Easily. WWE completely fucked up the entire Cruiserweight division. Jinder Mahal, another thing they fucked up on. Why this man is WWE champion? I still ask this question every single time I read a wrestling article. Jinder Mahal's next opponent for the WWE championship. Yesterday, we talked about Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar being rumored for Survivor Series in a one-on-one match. Meltzer reported that in Wrestling Observer newsletter for its daily news section this Thursday. So now we got Mahal and talk of his next opponent for the WWE Championship. After he tours India, he's going up against Kevin Owens. Mahal's going to be a babyface in India, clearly. I hope they boo the shit out of him. Kevin Owens, the biggest heel on SmackDown Live, is going one-on-one with Jinder Mahal. They want Jinder Mahal as a babyface in India against a big heel like Kevin Owens. So that is the match for the India tour. But that has nothing to do with Survivor Series. That has nothing to do with the plans after the Indian tour. Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. We've seen Jinder Mahal defeat Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, there were some excellent moments on Hell in a Cell. And there were some moments that made me want to slit my wrists. But Jinder Mahal's title reign was one of those moments. One of those moments in which WWE Creative again showed us how inept and stupid they really are. He pinned Shinsuke Nakamura clean. Clean, after the Cringe Brothers got thrown out from ringside. Jinder Mahal's title reign as WWE Champion has been a total disaster. And that's me being nice. Okay? Even fans from his own country are disappointed with his performance because he sucks. He is not a good performer. He is not a good performer. The one thing that Jinder Mahal did well this entire year was when he won that six-pack challenge to first challenge for the WWE Championship, and he cut that promo after that six-pack challenge. That's the only thing that Jinder Mahal did right this year. That was a great promo, and I was excited to see where that went. I was willing, and I did give it a chance. I did, and it failed. Move on. But WWE, they keep beating a dead horse. They want to see Mahal flourish for whatever reason. It's a failure. Absolute failure. It appears that to improve things for Mahal, WWE opted for a clean finish against Nakamura. So they risked Shinsuke Nakamura and his brand for Jinder Mahal. And it still isn't going to work. Because now the rumors are you're going to put him against Brock Lesnar. Is he going to defeat Brock Lesnar? Unless he's defeating Brock Lesnar, then what is the point? What is the point? I went off for 25 minutes on yesterday's podcast. Go and listen to it. It's worth noting that Nakamura has also not lived up to the expectations since his arrival on the main roster, but that is 100% due to the fact that WWE has booked him miserably. They booked him miserably. They booked him against guys who should not be in the ring with the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura, and Nakamura has been just booked in shit matches when he should be in matches with guys like Styles and Orton and Cena on the regular. Owens, Zayn. No, you want to put him against Jinder Mahal, a guy who couldn't even lace Nakamura's shoes. The latest rumors indicate that the next opponent for Jinder Mahal could be AJ Styles. as reported by several sources, including Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer speculated that AJ Styles would be Mahal's next challenger, as he could get a good match, out of Mahal. Really? Really? I don't think so. We've seen it once before on SmackDown Live, and it didn't do me good at all. It was evident that there was no real chemistry between Mahal and Nakamura, but will it be different with AJ Styles? My answer is no. Another opponent besides AJ Styles could be John Cena. However, John Cena is not expected to return before Christmas, eliminating him from the race right now. On the other hand, Bobby Roode could come into the title picture, but it's too early for him to be eyeing the WWE Championship. Bobby Roode should not be challenging the WWE Championship for the WWE Championship as a babyface. I would actually wait for AJ Styles to beat, I don't even know what's going to happen, man. This is a complete clusterfuck. Bobby Roode should be challenging for the WWE Championship as a heel. Whether it's Nakamura or Styles, I don't care. Either one of those men should be WWE Champion. Bobby Roode is going to challenge either one of those guys coming out of WrestleMania as a heel. That's what I would do. Whoever wins the title at WrestleMania, your first man is Bobby Roode as a heel. That's what needs to be done. So John Cena is going to be out of the title picture. He's not going to be returning to the WWE before Christmas. And Bobby Roode, it's too early right now. Okay? This leaves AJ Styles right now as the only member of SmackDown's roster even believable to challenge for the WWE Championship. There's nobody else outside of Styles. And this includes Nakamura because they buried him. It should have been done at Hell in a Cell. Nakamura should have won the title at Hell in a Cell. It should have been Nakamura and Owens for the rest of the year. And again, I booked this on yesterday's show. Should have been Nakamura, the WWE Champion, against Kevin Owens in the title picture. With AJ rebuilding his brand, Mahal losing the WWE Championship to Nakamura and capturing the United States Championship. I would have never dropped the United States Championship to Baron Corbin. I would have had Mahal beat AJ Styles for the United States Championship and then propel AJ Styles into the main event picture with him ultimately winning the Royal Rumble. That's what I would have did. But WWE doesn't think that's a good idea. They think having Jinder Mahal as its WWE Champion is a fantastic idea. Little do they know he's bringing the entire product down on Tuesday nights. And he's making a mockery out of the WWE Championship. Interestingly, AJ Styles lost his championship, the U.S. Championship that is, at Hell in a Cell to Baron Corbin. And he got pinned clean on SmackDown Live to the end of days. Styles is expected to invoke his rematch clause, which he did. He lost, like I said, end of days on SmackDown Live. And it's rumored that Styles intends to team up with Shane to take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, possibly at the Survivor Series. AJ Styles is one of the top merchandise sellers on SmackDown Live. It's pretty evident that he's been ignored in the past few months for the WWE Championship. Well, after him losing the United States Championship, he's free to do whatever the hell he wants. And I think giving him a shot at Jinder Mahal and him beating Jinder Mahal right now, if it's not going to be Nakamura, is your best bet. Now, as previously reported by different sources, it's speculated that Jinder Mahal will remain champion until WWE finishes the tour of India. Some have even gone on to say that Jinder Mahal will hold the title till WrestleMania 34. If that's the case, shoot me now. Anybody got bleach ready? Sharing is caring. Okay? Now, does this mean that Mahal is going to beat Styles as well? If that does happen, how bad will it look for everybody on SmackDown Live if Jinder Mahal just beats AJ Styles? So that means he would have beat AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Who's left for SmackDown Live in the main event scene? I don't know what WWE's doing right now. In an interview with Indo-Asian News, Triple H was asked if Jinder Mahal has earned his respect. I talked about this. After reinventing himself since his return, the WWE executive was in India to promote the company's tour in December, where Mahal will be the main attraction. Triple H said that Mahal's hard work and new attitude has helped him gain respect. This is what he said, and I quote again, Jinder Mahal has done an amazing job in recreating himself. Jinder was in WWE for the first time and wasn't as successful as he would have wanted. But we went back and re-energized him. He re-energized himself, dug deeper within himself, and worked extremely hard in his second chance, and now is making the most of it. People can criticize him, but he's earned my respect. It's been widely speculated that Jinder Mahal only got his push because the WWE is expanding in India. It should be noted that Mahal was born in Canada, and he is of Indian Punjab origin. Mahal also speaks Punjabi and Hindi, so he is the perfect superstar to promote in India. But Jinder Mahal is not the perfect superstar to promote as your WWE champion, whether or not you're touring India or not. WWE needs to fix this right now because the product is suffering and they don't even realize it. SmackDown Live and everything about SmackDown Live, from the shows to creative, are suffering because you have put all your money and effort into Jinder Mahal and it's not paying dividends. It's not paying off. The guy isn't good. The guy sucks in the ring. He doesn't bring any credibility to the WWE Championship. And you're holding that title hostage just like you are the Universal Championship with Brock Lesnar. You're holding the WWE Championship hostage away from real champions and real programs that the fans want to see. Nobody wants to see Jinder Mahal. Nobody will pay to see Jinder Mahal in the States here. He is a joke. He will always be a joke. How he is a WWE champion over the likes of Drew McIntyre is just fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. So WWE needs to fix this now. They need to fix this now. As soon as this tour is over, take the title off Mahal and put it on somebody where we can start finally resurrecting the prestige of that title and bring it to prominence and get it ready for WrestleMania. That's what they need to do. Enough of this Mahal bullshit. I'm sick to my stomach over Jinder Mahal being the WWE champion. Conor McGregor and WrestleMania 34. Is it going to happen? Well, according to Dana White, no. There have been rumors for months now involving the possibility of Conor McGregor joining the WWE, and it now seems closer than ever to being a reality. New reports have emerged this week suggesting that the Ultimate Fighting Championship star is very close to signing his deal with World Wrestling Entertainment to participate at WrestleMania next year. This is the latest on the possibility of WWE bringing on Conor McGregor. According to The Sun UK, don't know how credible they are. I don't think they're credible at all, but this is what's being talked about. The mixed martial arts star is in talks with WWE, but a deal will likely be delayed until next year's major pay-per-view. WWE's WrestleMania 34 is scheduled to take place in New Orleans. We all know that. While McGregor might not headline the event, he would certainly make for a major attraction at WrestleMania. If he's added to the card, it brings the potential for MMA fans to watch the biggest professional wrestling pay-per-view of 2018 and could drive more views and subscriptions to the network than ever before. As a source revealed, he grew up idolizing various stars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is partly the reason McGregor is so flamboyant and talks trash a lot. The source would then go on to further explain why McGregor will ultimately decide to sign with the WWE for a professional wrestling gig, and I quote, "There are the top dogs at self-promotion and trash talk. He watched these guys when he was younger. This is something he's always wanted to do. The WWE guys have asked him to do shows before with them, but the timing was never really right. But this time it looks like a deal is going to be locked into place." As far as Conor McGregor and who he would face at WrestleMania 34, that seems to be under wraps right now. Nothing has come to light. There are already rumors that Brock Lesnar will defend the WWE Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. There are also ongoing rumors of McGregor's UFC counterpart, Ronda Rousey, taking part in WWE. So it should be interesting to see if both of these mixed martial arts stars will be featured on the WrestleMania card. Now, you want something really funny? I just read you all that, but I also have an article that's going to debunk everything that I just said. Dana White reveals text messages sent to him by Vince McMahon about Conor McGregor. Dana White is shooting down rumors after the initial report. He's shooting down rumors that Conor McGregor is in talks with WWE to appear at WrestleMania. White went on Good Day New York on Thursday morning and completely shut down the story written earlier by the UK Sun. White says it's not true. It's absolutely not true. White said that he had just texted Vince McMahon 5 minutes before going on the air with Good Day New York, and he asked about the rumors. White said that McMahon wrote back and said, "News to me." McMahon later added, "It might be good someday, but not now." There has been some speculation online that the UK Sun was planted, or the UK Sun story was planted by someone in McGregor's camp. The deal to bring in McGregor at WrestleMania 34 would not have made sense financially because they are already spending big money on Ronda Rousey to be a part of WrestleMania 34. Also coming off his recent fight with Floyd Money Mayweather, it probably would have cost a lot more to book McGregor now than ever before. So I don't know how WWE would have been able to afford Conor McGregor at this point, you know, with everything else that they got going on. The current plan for McGregor is for him to headline the UFC show in Las Vegas on 12/30, or one of the early shows in 2018. So there you go. Conor McGregor is probably not going to be a part of WrestleMania 34. Ronda Rousey might very well be, because I know that she's training. All rumors point to her training. All rumors point to them doing something with the Four Horsewomen. So that's probably going to be at WrestleMania. I don't know if WWE is going to get that ready for Survivor Series. They might just very well save that for WrestleMania. When the training is right and everybody's ready to go, they might save that for WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. But as far as Conor McGregor in the WWE, let's speculate, man. Who would you guys, I'm going to ask you guys down in the comment section, who, out of everybody on the WWE main roster, if Conor McGregor was to have a one-on-one match, who would you book him against? I want to see where everybody's coming from. I know one of my longtime subs, Jesse, came to me and asked me this very same question. And now I'm posing the question to you guys. Who would you want to see Conor McGregor go up against? He asked me to see where I was gauging my thoughts on this entire thing. And he wanted to see how similar our opinions are. My initial first opponent, the first guy that came to mind for me, was Sheamus. I think Sheamus and Conor McGregor would have an absolute fucking war. I think that'd be fun to see. His choice would have been Shinsuke Nakamura, because Shinsuke Nakamura does have MMA experience. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Conor McGregor, they could kind of do an MMA, WWE style shoot match where both guys literally beat the shit out of each other. Both guys can take a fucking hell of a beating, I know that. But that was his choice. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Conor McGregor. I would have said Sheamus. I think Sheamus would have been a fun match with Conor McGregor. Brock Lesnar versus Conor McGregor, not ever going to happen. So get that out of your heads. I know there'll be somebody in the comment section, oh, I want to see Brock Lesnar versus Conor McGregor. No, I don't want to see that. That doesn't spell fun to me, you know. But I'm going to go with Sheamus, man. I think that would be a good choice for Conor McGregor at WrestleMania if he was indeed to have a one-on-one match. What do you guys think about that? Sound off in the comments below. And finally, guys, we are going to end with this one here on the podcast this weekend. Everybody's talking about Bray Wyatt and Sister Abigail. Honestly, I was laying on my couch the other night, on Friday night, and I was watching The Ring. The Ring was on television, you know? I seen the ending of The Ring, and I seen the girl from the well come through the television, and I took a video of it on my Twitter. And I'm like, this is what Sister Abigail should be. You get a female to reprise that role, that's what she looks like. Hair all across the face, the dirty gown, the dirty clothing, right? That's what I would have Sister Abigail be. And then you can start resurrecting the Wyatt family around that. Because I think Bray is better in the Wyatt family than out of the Wyatt family on his own. But WWE, why won't they turn Bray Wyatt into a babyface? That's a story that's been going around this week. Why WWE won't turn Bray Wyatt babyface? Revealed. It's being discussed that WWE officials haven't pulled the trigger on a babyface turn for Bray Wyatt because there are too many faces. Right now on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Dean Ambrose, John Cena. Even though he's not really there, he's still a babyface. Braun Strowman, to an extent, is a babyface because people love to see destruction and people want to see Braun Strowman. The roster needs Wyatt to remain a heel unless the powers that be are interested in turning one of their faces into a heel in the near future. Well, we just discussed Dean Ambrose turning heel, so maybe this could be on the plate for plans in 2018. There really isn't that many heels on Monday Night Raw if you think about it. I mean, there's The Miz or The Miz Taraj. You got Elias. There really isn't anybody else, you know? There really isn't anybody else. The whole Raw brand has been revolving around, I mean, Sheamus and Cesaro as well. But are any of them really that over as a heel? You know? So, if they turn Ambrose, and Ambrose plans turn for him, and he becomes a heel, and he feuds with Seth Rollins, maybe that could be WWE's way of turning Bray Wyatt from heel to babyface to fill that role. We'll see what happens. But the roster needs Bray Wyatt to remain a heel unless the powers that be are interested in turning one of their faces heel into the near future, which doesn't seem likely right now. The main concern that people are having regarding Bray Wyatt's future is his run as a heel is getting stale. It's been stale for a while. His reign as WWE Champion heading into WrestleMania 33 was lackluster, but the WWE Universe is concerned that may be his only chance to become a top guy in the company. Many people feel that a babyface turn for Wyatt could be the necessary move to cement him on the top of WWE's ladder as a bona fide main event star. You know, the plans were there. WWE went along with it. I think it was early last year. Remember, it was a random edition of Monday Night Raw. I don't know who they went up against. But it was Wyatt and Reigns teaming together. And Bray Wyatt was very, very good in that babyface role. The fans were behind everything that Bray Wyatt was doing. I don't know why WWE did that and went right back to Bray Wyatt being a heel, but I liked what I seen from that one instance, from that one tag team match with Roman Reigns. So we'll see what happens. It could work if WWE wants to invest their time in it. I just don't see them doing that right now. WWE TLC will see the debut of Sister Abigail. This will be a huge indicator of Bray Wyatt's future. The gimmick could be a one-time thing, just for this feud with Finn Balor, or it could become a trademark for Wyatt. Sooner or later, WWE officials will give Bray Wyatt a babyface run on television. However, it will be the WWE fans that decides if that becomes the angle to finally cement Bray Wyatt into a top position in WWE. All I know is something needs to be done about Bray Wyatt. If there's anybody that feels just out of place and stale, Bray Wyatt's at the top of the list. Something needs to change. The guy has the look, he's got the in-ring skill, and he's got the promo ability to fucking be a top guy. They've had this character for so long, and they've miscast him and misutilized him for so long. I don't want to see this guy be one of those guys that is planning his escape from WWE. He's too good. The gimmick is good. WWE just doesn't know what they realize. They don't know what they have. They don't realize what they have here. Do I think a babyface turn for Bray Wyatt is probably what's best for him in the future? We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm hoping we just get through this whole Sister Abigail thing. I hope this doesn't kill the rest of what is Bray Wyatt right now. I told you how WWE should book it. We talked about it last weekend on the podcast, part 2. We talked about it. I gave you a picture-perfect scenario about what I would do with Sister Abigail at TLC. We'll see how that stacks up to what WWE has planned, but I'm not expecting anything good to come out of Bray Wyatt reprising the role of Sister Abigail next Sunday for TLC. Thank you guys so much. That is off the script. That is your news for this episode 191, part number 3. I'm going to round off this show. I'm going to round off your weekends with sub-stories, man. We're going to get right into sub-stories, as always, right here on Off the Script. If you guys don't care for that, you guys can end it right here. Thank you so much for everything. There was a major podcast this weekend, man. So much news. So much hot topics in the world of professional wrestling today, man. I'm glad you guys are able to join me this weekend so we can discuss all this nonsense here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys right back here for episode 192, as we are now, next weekend, 8 episodes away from 200 shows, man. Unbelievable. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Please check out all my sponsors, man. If you guys want to show appreciation for the hard work that goes into this channel, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. If you guys want to support the podcast directly, without even doing anything, man, you guys want something for free, just for listening to the show, Audible. Try Audible service using our link, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. 30 days free. That's 1 month free of their service, plus 1 free audio book of your choice. Go check it out and get your free book. Cash in on your free book right now for listening to Off the Script. Also, get your t-shirts, man. That is barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code JD17 at checkout. There will be another t-shirt design within the month. Believe me, this might be my favorite of all time. So thank you guys so much, man. And if you guys want to download the Fight TV app, I hear there's a Ring of Honor pay-per-view tonight. The Global Wars pay-per-view where Kenny Omega is defending the IWGP United States Championship. If you guys want to see that, if you guys want to watch that tonight, which I'm thinking about doing, you guys can get it directly through the Fight TV app. Use our link down below. It's at the top of the description, man. Go use our link. Get the Fight TV app for free. It costs you nothing. All you got to do is pay for the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view tonight, Global Wars for Ring of Honor, is $19.99. You could stream it right through your phone and sync it to your TV. Absolutely with no cable, bro. Absolutely with no cables at all. So from your phone or device of choice to your television, Ring of Honor, Global Wars tonight. You guys can see the Bullet Club in action. Kenny Omega defending the IWGP United States Championship, man. So that is all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring or checking out my sponsors. Thank you so much for sticking with me on the podcast. Let's get into your sub-stories today, man, as we round out this episode of Off the Script 192. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the flip side for subscriber stories right here on Off the Script. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Sub Stories, and I had to switch out my shirt, man. I went to go check my mailbox while the other parts of today's podcast were rendering in my Adobe Premiere. I went to go check my mailbox, and look at that, man. The Team JD shirt has arrived, and good news for everybody who missed the original batch that I had on teespring.com for that 5-day campaign. I am going to be relaunching the campaign this week, next Friday, when we do episode 192 of Off the Script. I'm going to be relaunching it on Teespring for the entire weekend. So that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You guys have one more chance to get your Team JD Bullet Club design t-shirt, man. It feels really good. I was told by a few people that the quality was thin. It's not as good as Pro Wrestling Tees and Barbershop Window. Nobody is. Nothing will be better than that. But this is decent, man. This is really good. And the design is fucking awesome. It feels just like the Barbershop Window designs. So if you guys want to go get that and check it out next Friday, I will be relaunching the campaign for this very t-shirt on teespring.com. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter for all the information. Watch next week's podcast for the campaign as we launch the shirt once again. Subscriber stories, man. Let's get into it. If you guys want to send me your subscriber stories at JDFROMNY206, yahoo.com. That's JDFROMNY206 at yahoo.com. You guys can send me anything you want. You want to call me a fucking goon? You want to call me an asshole? Whatever you guys want to do, man. You guys want to tell me about how much you enjoy the show, what you like about the show. You guys want to share some personal experiences, some personal stories that you want to share with the entire Off the Script family. You guys can certainly do so, man. I read everything, and it's nice to have sub-stories back after a couple of weeks away from doing it right here on the podcast. We're going to start with Jordan Acevedo. He emailed me on October 13th at 3:39 p.m., and he starts out by saying, "Dear JD, my name is Jordan Acevedo. I'm 27, and I'm an old-school wrestling fan. I will agree the wrestling product sucks except for NXT. I watch your channel religiously. I was born with ROP, radiopathy of prematurity. I don't know what that is. First time I'm hearing that, which is a visual impairment causing blindness. I was 6 months premature. I was in the hospital for a year. When I came home, my mother blended my food and put it in a bottle so I could eat it. I have a big family, 15, 4 from my biological mom, and my mother had 3 more when we were older. I currently live in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is not that far from me. My best friend Peter used to live in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I am waiting for a grant for a laptop so I can go back to school so I can get my high school diploma. In the meantime, I volunteer at the zoo here in Bridgeport. I currently work in the education department in the Rainforest exhibit. It can be tough sometimes, but when I come home, I look forward to watching whatever you have cooked up on the channel to listen to. When it comes to the product, it needs a lot of work, but there is nothing we can do about it. I can't complain, though, because yours and Joe's Cronin reviews are awesome. I always love to listen to both of your opinions. Off the Script is one of the big things I look forward to every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I keep track of the time, and I always am ready to listen because it is a good listen, because reading the wrestling news can be annoying. Your commentary for House of Glory is phenomenal, and your gaming commentary always puts a smile on my face. I play fighting games, but also wrestling games. I try to do commentary to work on not being shy around people. Keep up the good work on your channel. A quote I would give you is never resist a challenge, and you're always in my prayers. Sincerely, Jordan. Jordan, thank you so much, man. Speaking of fighting games, man, I was thinking about getting Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, because I went to I went to this IGN sponsored event with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Bailey was there, Sasha Banks, Sheamus was there. They had this little IGN showdown Comic-Con weekend in, I think it was the Village of New York, right off 10th Avenue, right off the West Side Highway. And it was in a place called The Garage. And IGN was filming there. They were live streaming it to their YouTube channel. It looked pretty fucking fun, man. It looked awesome. The Marvel vs. Capcom. I was a big Marvel vs. Capcom original game. When that game first came out, man, I was so in love with that game in the arcades, man. I used to be Iron Man all the time, man. Doing that Mega Cannon 50-hit combo was just, it was just infectious, man. It was unbelievable. As a little kid, I used to be mesmerized by that thing, man. You know, I want to try and get it, but I don't know if I'm even good at fighting games anymore. I used to be decent at Street Fighter and those types of things, but I'm not really, keen on fighting games anymore. But Jordan, I'm sorry to hear about your visual impairment, man. That's a sad thing to hear. I'm glad to see yourself keeping busy. I'm glad to see yourself motivated enough to go back and get your high school diploma. I appreciate you looking forward to the podcast every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thank you for the compliments on my House of Glory commentary, man. I'm always looking to get better. I even tell everybody there, I'm always looking to get better, man. It's been a dream of mine, and I'm so fortunate to be in the seat that I'm sitting in there with House of Glory. It's just a phenomenal company, man. I know I didn't listen to the podcast yet, but I know Sam Roberts gave House of Glory a few shout-outs on a couple of episodes ago. I don't know. I think it was when Bret Hart was there at the NYC Arena last month. Bret Hart went to go visit Sam Roberts in the Sirius Studios, and he had a nice sit-down interview talking about his dislikes for Eric Bischoff and his gripes with the current product right now. I didn't get to listen to it yet. It's very interesting. I want to see what Bret Hart has to say about that, but I appreciate that compliment. I'm always looking to get better. And I'm glad to see yourself keeping busy, man, working at the zoo and volunteering at the zoo, man. Keep busy. Please keep busy. Because I know keeping myself busy at home is a big struggle now that I'm not working in retail anymore. And I tend to get down a lot of times during the day. I don't really get out enough. And it's really difficult to work from home. It really is. Just not being around people all the time. You are around people. Keep yourself busy. Keep yourself occupied. Build relationships. And I appreciate you writing me, man. It really is great to see, how many people out there are just, making off the script a part of your weekend. And how much, you guys look forward to it each and every single time there's an upload, man. So thank you guys so much, man. That means more to me than anything. I always say it. I never get tired of saying it. It means more to me than any Patreon, any donation, any T-shirt sale. So thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate you guys, Jordan. Thank you so much. And keep, as always, man. You got my email. Email me. Keep me up to date. Follow up with me about that laptop situation and how you're going about getting that high school diploma, man. Keep me up to date, and I will certainly keep dibs on you right here on Off the Script. Thank you so much. Let's get on to the next one that we have here, and I am going to go with David Cochran. He emailed me on October 10th at 6:22 p.m., and David writes, "As you know, I want to be a pro wrestler. I have always been watching since I was 6 years old. My brother, who is autistic, got my sister into watching an episode of SmackDown. The rest is history. I followed. I love watching WWE, and in my heart tells me to go with this. But my mind says to go with the more logical approach. I was active in martial arts when I was about 7 to 13. I know I can learn more because I was pretty good for the years I've been learning, and right now I have the decision between UFC or WWE. Each have their own positives and negatives, but UFC had the money, while WWE is what I know. What I watched more of is WWE. What me and my sister bond over is WWE. WWE sometimes takes 5 to 15 years for some people. Everyone's life is different. I'm up against a huge decision right now. I tried contacting you, but I got no response on Twitter. I also tried contacting you about a shirt you were about to sell. The Get Off My TV one. Still no response. I felt betrayed in a way. Like, I want to give you money and also ask for advice on this tough decision and still no reply. It hurt me. I lashed out on Twitter, and I apologize. I realize you have a life. You have hundreds of people contacting you, essentially burying my from your Twitter feed. I'm sorry, Jerry. I am. I feel horrible. If you don't respond, I understand. If you don't accept my apology, I understand. Just please remember my name. I will do great things one day. I am certain of that. David. This is not only to David, but everybody else that wants to contact me on Twitter. I don't want you guys to take it personally. I do not live on Twitter, bro. I used to be all about Twitter. There was back in the day. It was back in the day. And this is what I urge people to do if you're starting a small channel. I used to sit at my retail job when there was no business at all the entire day. I used to sit on my YouTube channel and comment to every single comment in my comment section on every video. That's what I thought would get me out there. And I thought the more comments, the more retention for the video, the more eyes on the video. You know, that's what I did to build my brand. That's what I did starting out to build my brand. I can't do that anymore, no matter how much I want to. I'm lucky if I answer one or two people in the comment section now. I read all the comments, but I don't have time to comment. Do you know why? It's because I'm always trying to deliver content to you guys. I'm always out there trying to get content uploaded so you guys can enjoy it. My main thing is not answering you guys, but giving you content to be entertained by. When Twitter comes, Twitter, I use it to speak my mind on certain things, whether it's tweeting during Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-view, whatever the case may be. Twitter is there as a social media platform to make sure you guys are aware of when I upload, because YouTube half the time shits on my content. Don't take it personal if I don't reply to anybody on Twitter. It is not my job to comment to you on Twitter. I get anywhere between 150 and 200,000 impressions a day on Twitter. I get over 3 million impressions in a month on Twitter. There is no possible way I can do it myself. I read what you guys have to say, and if it gets lost, it gets lost. I can't help that. I can't help that. If you want to reach out to me, and if it's important, email me. My email is in my Twitter profile. Business only. But if it's that important to you, email me. I always see my email. My email is always cleaned out, so things are there, updated for me to see. Don't take it personal. The Get Off My TV shirt that you're probably talking about is the new one that's on Barbershop Window. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use my code, JD17. Save yourself 20% off. It is on the channel. It is on the store right now for you guys to purchase. This one is going back up on Teespring for 3 days. I will let you guys know on Twitter and on Off the Script next weekend. I wish you the very best in whatever you do. I would go with what makes you happy. I would go with what you know. Take a chance on yourself. Go be a professional wrestler. Go to WWE. Train to be a WWE wrestler. There are schools all around this country that want to teach you how to be a pro wrestler. Wrestling now might not be WWE, but wrestling now outside WWE is thriving. It is more popular now than ever, the indies. Do it. Do what makes you happy. And let me know what you're doing. I wish you the very best, and maybe I'll be calling one of your matches someday. Maybe I'll be reporting about you on Off the Script. Do not get upset if I do not email you. Go be a professional wrestler, bro. And really, I apologize to you, and I accept your apology. I apologize to you for not seeing your tweet. So just leave it at that. If you guys want me, and it's very important, you can always email me, jdfromny206 at yahoo.com. We're going to do one more, man. We're going to do one here from a longtime sub. This is a short one. Jimmy Skaggs. What's up, brother? Jimmy writes me on October 7th at 12:09 p.m. Hello, JD. Actually, we'll do a few more. We'll do a few more. I got time. Hello, JD. I've been watching you for almost 2 years now. I believe we got some similarities. Anxiety and panic has nearly consumed me for about 20 years. I also tend to constantly think negatively and just expect the worst. I do too, bro. All the time. No matter what it is, who it concerns, I always think the worst, bro. I always think the worst. I'm one of those guys that looks at the glass half full. You know? It's, or half empty. Whatever the saying is, you know? But I'm a pessimist. Believe me, I am a big pessimist. I am not optimistic at all. As well, I've been a pro wrestling fan for nearly 31 and a half years. I'm 32. Damn. So you've been a pro wrestling fan for that long? You've been a pro wrestling fan since you were 6 months old? Come on, Jimmy. Come on, bruh. Started watching less than a year old. I've noticed that things were going pretty good for you, and then some unnecessary drama was pointed in your direction by some other YouTubers. So that you tweeted about being not happy with things right now. Don't know if I will ever be. I sincerely believe things will get better. All the time I've watched you, you've had a few rough patches, but always came back stronger. I'll continue thinking of you. I know you will bounce back from this. Team JD for life. Jimmy, thank you so much, brother. Thank you for the encouragement, and thank you for being not only a Patreon, but a subscriber and a loyal fan of Off the Script. Jimmy, thank you so much, brother. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to write me here on Off the Script. Keisha, I know you've been writing me. Honey. I'm here. Hey, JD, my name is Keisha, and I love your playthroughs of The Walking Dead. When you're done with that, or when you get a chance, can you play Life is Strange? The layout is like The Walking Dead. I know you asked me what was Life is Strange the last time I was on Twitch. I really think your playthroughs are awesome. Life is Strange is awesome. And Life is Strange Before the Storm is out now on PS4. I'm just giving you a request on what to play next after you're done with The Walking Dead. From New Orleans. You're from New Orleans, so I hope you come out to my meet and greet next year for WrestleMania. If I do plan on going to WrestleMania, I will be at Spirits on Bourbon most of my time. So you guys can make your way down there. I will not be leaving New Orleans until I drink several beverages from that Skull Cup that they offer down there, bro. So I know. Okay, I don't eat seafood though, so no shrimp gumbo for me, nothing along those lines, but I'm gonna need some nice recommendations for some good food down there. Preferably Italian. Maybe there's a nice Mexican spot down there, maybe a nice sub place for some nice sandwiches, whatever. But I will not be playing Life is Strange. I looked into it. Not really interested. I will be playing all of The Walking Dead, though. Season 1's coming to an end. I will be starting Season 2 soon after that. But, Keisha, thank you so much for being such a big fan of the show. And I'm sorry I didn't get back to you in written form, but I figured I'd read it here on Sub-Stories for you. So thank you so much for writing me. And thank you for being a fan of my playthroughs, man. I want to do more playthroughs, but the wrestling content consumes my day and my weeks so much that I barely have time for anything else. But I'm going to try my best to give you guys streams on Twitch of older games. I got a bunch of games that I do want to play, and I'm going to try and give you guys some of the best WWE 2K18 walkthroughs so far for career mode and streams for my Road to Glory, My Glory, whatever it's called. But I will be giving you guys a ton of live streams coming up. So, Keisha, thank you so much for writing me here on Off the Script. What do we got here, man? Deborah. I remember Deborah. Deborah, how are you? This is from Deborah. She writes me on September 29th. Took a couple of weeks off with Sub-Stories, but this one's from September 29th at 6:16 p.m. Hey, Jerry, it's your mom from Portland here. Just thought you'd maybe could use some positive voices after this week. I was very proud of the way you owned up to your mistake like a person should. I'm assuming this has to do with that fucking social justice warrior idiot who thought I stole her design. I was very proud of the way you owned up to your mistake like a person should. Don't let the haters get you down. Don't give them that power over you. They are not even worth the breath it takes to talk about them. You keep up the good work, Jerry. You have a lot of people out here who care about you and depend on your sane voice to navigate the insanity, and I don't mean the wrestlers that the WWE throws at us every week. Just wanted to tell you thank you for reading my first email on the show. It surprised the hell out of me and made my week as I got to brag about it to my friends and family. You could brag about this one now, too. Sorry about the lack of punctuation in this email, but I'm having to do this on my phone, and it's my only internet at the moment. I am not very good with the small keyboard. Anyways, keep up the good work. You got nothing but good vibes coming from Portland. Loves and hugs. Debbie, your other mother. It's funny that my mom's name is Debbie. So there you go. Deborah, thank you so much for the email. I'm very grateful for your support. And you know what? I've always wanted to visit that part of the country, man. I've always wanted to spend some time in Seattle. I think I'm just afraid of flying, man, so I can't commit to making the trek all the way to Seattle, you know? I can't be on a plane for that long. But there's just something about Seattle, man, that just looks like a city I'd enjoy, you know? Eating and drinking. I was watching an episode of, I don't know if it was Man vs. Food with Adam Richman back in the day, or it was Anthony Bourdain, or if it was Andrew Zimmern with Destination America, or something along those lines. I don't know. Or Bizarre Foods. Bizarre Foods is Andrew Zimmern. I know one of those guys went to Seattle, man. Everything just looks so my style, man. Drinking out there. They got some good brew out there. Some nice places that serve, you know, beer and just, you know, those dive bars, the grungy look, you know, just the excitement. The nightlife looks very, you know, very exciting and lively. I love to make my way out there sometime, man. Hopefully, if WrestleMania comes to Seattle again, you know, I'd be there for sure. I'd love to visit Seattle. And, you know, Oregon looks like a very, very peaceful, serene environment. But, Deborah, thank you so much for writing me again. I hope all is well with you, and I hope you get your internet back, you know, so that you don't have to write me next time from your phone. You could do it from the comfort of your own PC. Deborah, thank you so much. I want to read one more here. This one is going to be coming from, who is this? Rudra Patel. This is a short one. October 1st, 6:59 p.m. Hey, JD, first of all, thanks for reading my story. And just like you, me and my friends made time out to meet each other. By the way, I'm 17, just so you know. And anyway, don't read this email as a sub-story. Well, it's too late for that one, bruh. It's too late for that one, bruh, because I'm here to help you. I saw your OTS video October 1st, and let me tell you, you can grow bigger. Do interviews with big-time wrestlers. If you do, then you will get bigger. Solid Monster or Justin LaBar for interviewing wrestlers. I'm looking forward to your first interview. From your loyal sub, Rudra. Honestly, Solid Monster is as professional can be. I look up to him for that, and he's also got a very, very great mind. So is LaBar. LaBar is not only a swell dresser, but he's also as professional can be. And if there's two podcasts out there that you want to kind of model yourself after, it's those guys. It's Solid Monster Sounds Off, and it's Wrestling Reality with Justin LaBar. And no, I'm not sucking cock like some people say that I do. It's okay to do that, okay? It's okay to you know, mimic and look up to guys in this same thing that we're doing. Those are two guys that nobody can ever talk bad about because they do what they do and they present it the way it should. I will never get wrestlers on this channel. The sad thing is, I'm too real. I'm not shock jock territory, but I speak my mind so much that I might have people that don't ever want to come on this show. I got people that don't ever want to work with me because I'm too real. I'm too real. I tell it like it is. I don't sugarcoat anything, you know? It's just the way it is, man. I doubt if anybody would want to come on this show. Now, I could probably get some wrestlers from House of Glory to interview on here, but I'm not really an interview type guy. I'm really not. If you want to know what one of my weaknesses is, it's that. It's that. I can't do interviews. I don't know what to ask. You know? I'm just not the interview type guy. What I do work well on is me. I do my solo podcast by myself as well as anybody does. I like working by myself, you know? Maybe when I get bigger, my ultimate dream is to take this show live every day for an hour. Maybe on Twitch, maybe on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe I make it to Sirius. That's my ultimate goal, to be on Sirius XM. Have Off the Script as a wrestling podcast every day like Taz on Sirius Radio. That's what I want. Phone calls, you know, people who are helping me, people on my staff, me having my own staff. Sound effect board, you know? Phone calls. Just taking Off the Script to the fucking maximum level that it could go. That's my ultimate dream, you know? And maybe then people will take me seriously and want to be on my show. But I can't do that now. I don't think anybody wants to work with me at all. That's just the way it is. And if they do, you know, they could reach out to me. I'm easily accessible. Twitter, my email. You know, whatever, man. It is what it is. Rudra, thank you for your recommendation, and thank you for writing me, bro. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad you made time to meet your friends and spend some time with your friends, man. Guys, that's off the script. Thank you so very much for everything. Thank you to everybody who sent in sub-stories. If you guys want to get in your own sub-stories, please email me, jdfromny206@yahoo.com. Look forward to the new campaign next weekend for episode 192. Thank you for a great weekend. And I'm going to get out of here, man, because I'm going to have myself some dinner, and I'm going to relax with some WWE 2K18 on this Saturday night, going into Sunday. You guys will see this on Sunday morning, guys. Thank you so much. I am JD. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe down to the channel below, and I'll see you guys for a brand new week of content right here on the channel. Take care, guys, and I'll talk to you next week.